How's it going, everybody? Nerds Rising here, and welcome back to the Nerd Cave. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at some very entertaining Psychic Cup battles submitted to me by one of my very good friends, Spencer, aka SomeKindofRookie. Now, if you're looking at the team over there, you're probably thinking that the team isn't super spicy, maybe like a jalapeno level spice, but what makes these battles entertaining is the fact that Spencer is running Wild Charge on the Raichu, Payback on the Bronzong, and V-Create on the Victini. So all three of his mons have very heavy hitting moves, and what you're going to see is in basically 90% of the situations that Spencer is in, he will just send the Hail Mary Nuke almost every time. Like, literally, probably there's only like 3 or 4 times in this entire video where this man baits. So what you're going to see is just nuke after nuke just land and just destroy some unsuspecting opponents. It's so much fun. And sorry about the shiny demon eyes, by the way, in the background on my cat, but she's leaving now anyway, so it's fine. Everything's fine. So, yeah, you guys are definitely going to want to stick around and watch this entire video because there are just some insane plays. So, we're going to be jumping right into these, and you will be seeing some Ultra League content coming very soon as well. I have my Ace team that I used, a pretty spicy team as well, that I'm going to be featuring probably tomorrow or the next day. So stay tuned for that as well. And without any further ado, let's get right into these battles and see what Spencer has in store for us in the Psychic Cup. So in the first battle here, we have a Raichu mirror match. And this is probably one of the few battles where actually you could argue that baiting is necessary, because if he wild charges right away, then the opponent really just needs to go for the Thunder Punches. So yeah, gonna actually bait, which I like, just before the opponent gets to the back-to-back Thunder Punches, and the opponent actually does shield, and they overfarm and they lose CMP. Is the opponent going to respect the wild charge? And they don't, and it one-shots from over half health. And now the opponent is down a shield and down a Mon, and they bring in a Defense Deoxys. And Defense Deoxys here, even if this is a Thunderbolt, and it looks like they're actually running Rock Slide, which is, I'm not sure what the recommended moveset is for Deoxys in this cup, but I was going to say probably should be running Thunderbolt, honestly, but doesn't actually need to throw the Payback here. And I think this makes a lot of sense, because now it can just throw the Heavy Slam and just farm all the way down and come out of this with some energy. It actually calls the Rock Slide again and comes out with the move loaded and a lot of HP, and actually made it to the Payback as well, which is crazy. But just only needs the Heavy Slam here, because Heavy Slam honestly probably nearly one-shots Rapidash. So at this point, this game is already over, because he has 2 shields, and he actually brings in the Raichu here as well, just to force the opponent's energy, which I really like. And now there is nothing protecting this Rapidash from the wrath of V-Create, and actually looks like he might call the Body Slam with 2 shields, calls the Body Slam, absolutely savage, builds up to the back-to-back V-Creates, and now, I was going to say, could even take another Body Slam to flex on the opponent, but going to play it safe and shield, and honestly probably isn't even going to need the back-to-back here. I think one should easily be taking out this Rapidash, and that is going to be a very good game. So GG to the opponent there, but they just made all the wrong shielding decisions, and he's got a Gothitelle in the next battle here, and this is where you're going to see Spencer's true craziness, as he just goes straight for the Wild Charge, doesn't even build up to the back-to-back, and the opponent calls it and gets sniped with a Bronzong, and that is now 1 Mon down from the opponent, and they've got 2 shields still, and they bring out a Claydol, which is very bad for his entire team, and you know what? He's not going to bait again, full sending the Payback, and the Payback lands with 2 shields. The opponent goes down, and the opponent now only has 1 Mon left already, and it's another Rapidash, and now Rapidash has to basically take on his entire team with 2 shields. Doesn't even need to go for the Payback here, could just go for the Heavy Slam, and the opponent is overfarming massively, and now already, guys, this game is over, because the Bronzong will just go down. He can just bring in the Raichu here again, force the opponent's energy, and now is going to have a 2-shielded Victini against this Rapidash, and that is already game over. So very nicely played there. I really like the idea of just going straight for the Wild Charge without overfarming, because what I noticed really in most situations where you have a debuffing move, most people will tend to build up to like the back-to-back, or at least build up slightly over the energy. But the fact that he just goes for it straight away, I think really throws people off into thinking that he's like going to be throwing a bait, and he does not. He just goes straight for the nuke. So as you see there, he's at the back-to-back recreates, and this is easily going to be just taking out the Rapidash. Yeah, the opponent just recognizes it's over and just lets it go. So well played battle there, and we are moving right into the next one here. We have a Gardevoir on the lead, which is pretty neutral, but the charms just do so much. So what we're going to see here is just, again, just go straight for the Wild Charge and probably just dip into one of the back buttons and gets an early shield, which is very nice. Brings in the Bronzong, and the opponent, again, has a Claydol, which is actually pretty rough. If the opponent shields this, this could get a little bit unfortunate, and they do shield it, unfortunately. I was really hoping to see that payback land, but now, probably gonna need to shield this because the Mud Slaps would just do so much damage if he were to let that go and just save shields for Victini's, and he actually makes it to the Heavy Slam on very low HP, so that's absolutely clutch because those Mud Slaps would just destroy Victini. So takes care of the Claydol, and again, the opponent is bringing back in the Gardevoir, and I think at this point, if he wants to, he can probably shield up the Shadow Ball and just fully farm down the Gardevoir, and it's actually a Psychic as well, which is crazy. And is he going to commit to the full farm down here and actually brings in the Raichu and snipes? Beautiful play, and now I believe he has the back-to-back V-Creates, and now the opponent's last Mon is a Bronzong. How much is an unshielded V-Create going to do? And that does so much damage. Bronzong is a very bulky Mon, and that does like 95% of its health, and that is going to be all she wrote, and the opponent again goes down to a nuke. So well played battle so far, and leading into a Malamar, very common Mon in the Psychic Cup, and this is a bit tricky for his team because it's very spammy and it does have access to Foul Play, and as we've seen before, not even going to build up any extra, goes straight for the Wild Charge and it lands again, and now brings in the Bronzong, and Bronzong again is pretty tanky, can pretty safely let this go and just commit to the farm down. So now he still has a lot of HP remaining, and the opponent is already down a full Mon, and they bring in their own Bronzong. And the question is the opponent going to respect the nuke? And they don't respect the nuke again. The opponent has now lost 2 Mons, and they still have 2 shields remaining. And now this game is already over because he can just bring this Raichu in, get the shield here, and the opponent is so low that he could probably just come in with a Victini here and just fully farm down, and doesn't even need to throw a move if he doesn't want to. Can just safely shield up the move that the Gardevoir gets to, quick attack all the way down, and that is going to be another GG. So the opponent there, just assuming like he's already baited one, or already nuked me once, there's no way he sends the nuke again, right? Well, wrong, sir, because this man does not believe in baiting. So very well played in that battle, and a Shadow Gardevoir again on the lead in the next battle. And I'm assuming we're going to see the exact same play, despite the fact that Thunder Punch would probably KO here. Just going to full send the Wild Charge for fun, gets the shield, brings in the Bronzong. What's the opponent going to bring in? They've got a Bruxish, and Bruxish is very strong in this cup, but the question is, does the opponent want to go down 2 shields? They do not. Bruxish gets nuked, and the opponent is in shambles once again. They bring back in the Gardevoir, but they're going to have to throw energy here, and I think he may just be able to farm down here. This is going to be very, very close. Can he farm down? And on 1 HP, he farms down. He gets to the Heavy Slam. Was the opponent counting? This is a Metagross, it looks like. They were not, and now Victini comes in. The opponent sees the Victini and top lefts. So very good play there. I really wanted to see that Shadow Metagross get nuked by the V-Create, but unfortunately, you can't see the nuke in every game. So the opponent has a Victini on the lead in this next battle, and as we've seen, Spencer is going straight for the Wild Charge. They actually do respect it, unfortunately, and this is actually going to be a bit tricky now because we already saw how much damage a V-Create does, and he's going to shield up the first, and now the opponent has lowered their attack. And is he going to actually respect this one here? And no, just lets it go, recognizing he could barely survive, but unfortunately does get farmed down by a Metachamp. So the opponent at the very least is forced to switch out, and I think he can take an Ice Punch here, and probably just is going to get to the Wild Charge and just full send it as we've seen, and then save a shield for the Victini. And the question is Is the Medicham going to respect the Wild Charge here? And they don't. That does massive damage and gets the farm down. So this is looking okay. The opponent does bring back in their own Victini. And probably going to let this go. Yeah, I like this play a lot, letting this go. And now that the opponent has debuffed their defense, may actually be able to farm all the way down, and that's exactly what he's going to do. So very nice play here. Recognizes that after the opponent throws, he can farm down. And despite going down a shield, he's coming out of here with 2 V-Creates, and the opponent's final Mon is an Alolan Raichu. And Alolan Raichu is not the tankiest Mon around, so how much damage is a V-Create going to do on this Alolan Raichu? Unfortunately, it doesn't quite one-shot, but the opponent's over-farming. They try to go for the farm down, and he gets to another one. And I think the opponent may have thrown that battle. I'm not sure. Maybe the opponent was recognizing that his Raichu still had enough health to maybe do 1 Volt Switch worth of damage and thought that farming down was their win con. But either way, they definitely had enough for the move there, but still pulls off a very nice win there. So another mirror match, and he just sends the Wild Charge right off the bat, and that does so much damage, and then he snipes with a Bronzong. The opponent doesn't even get the move up. Oh my goodness. Opponent's just an absolute shambles here, and they're already down 1 Mon. Are they going to respect the Heavy Slam? And they do respect it, so they kind of had to respect it there. He didn't actually send the nuke there, but the Heavy Slam would do so much damage that they basically had to shield that. So they actually bait him with the Body Slam as well. He calls it with 2 shields. Gonna call another one with 2 shields again, and they actually do go for the Mega Horn. But this is actually fine because the opponent has now expended their energy. He's got a shield advantage, and both of his Mons, as you guys have seen, hit extremely hard when shields are down. So may actually commit to the 2 shield farm down with a Raichu, and doesn't even need to commit 2 shields. What's gonna be in the back? And there's a Bronzong in the back. There's a Bronzong in the back, and they just surrender, knowing that 2 Wild Charges was gonna absolutely destroy them. So very well played, and we're moving into another Raichu mirror. These battles are just flying by, guys. I can barely keep up with my commentary here. Some crazy, crazy nukes landing left and right, and actually shields the Wild Charge here, and I like this play a lot. He throws on CMP, and now the opponent's going to be forced to shield as well, and they don't shield in that one-shots. Oh my goodness, and now the opponent actually has a Malamar in the back, so this is actually a little bit scary now, because a Malamar with 2 shields can do very well against his whole team. Nicely recognizes there that he can safely tank 1 move, and gonna get a shield back probably here. And they actually call the bait there. So one of the times where he actually baits, but I think he recognized that he just needed to get some damage off onto this thing, and gonna just let the Bronzong go. Gonna bring back in the Raichu here, and does he shield and farm down, or is he gonna save the shield for the Victini? Yeah, I'm just gonna let it go and trust that Victini can sweep this endgame. But this is actually going to be a bit tricky, but the opponent has a Metang in the back, so we do have a little bit of life here. Gonna farm up a ton of energy here, and Metang takes quite a bit of time to get to the moves here, so he might actually make it to 3 V-Creates here before the opponent makes it to 2 moves. Gets the second one off already, and is already at the back-to-back, and the opponent is just now getting to their back-to-back moves, and Victini has just swept this back line, can farm down the Malamar, and that is going to be a very well-played game. So, a little bit tricky. That one is actually looking pretty rough, but the fact that the opponent tried to call the bait there on the lead and had their Raichu just get fully one-shotted by that Wild Charge was absolutely clutch. So, Victini in the next battle here. Again, as you guys have seen, just full sends the Wild Charge, gets the shield advantage, and actually looks like in this one he's just going to sack the Raichu here. And actually, no, he's going to shield it up, maybe recognizing that he has the energy now for the Thunder Punch. Actually, no, he didn't. So, actually going to double shield here, so very interesting. Going to double shield and maybe try to farm down, and they actually bring in a Rapidash here, so banks a lot of energy on the Raichu, forces the Victini to switch out, and now comes in with a Bronzong, recognizing that he can tank a Mega Horn and probably will outpace to the next move. And yeah, this is just going to be a Body Slam, but knows it's not a Mega Horn, knows his Bronzong can survive it, and can just get to the Heavy Slam here, and actually going to just send the BM payback, knowing the opponent's probably going to shield anyway, and he's only getting to 1 move. And yeah, they actually just let that go as well. So they have a Defense Deoxys in the back, and yeah, I think that he should just be fine here. He's got the Wild Charge loaded, can get this Wild Charge off, and knows that the Victini in back is energy dry. So the Deoxys is going to have to expend energy here and probably can just farm up to the back-to-back V-Creates here. And actually the opponent, I think, makes a mistake here and they send in their Victini, and now a win con has been spotted. He can just farm this thing all the way down now and just double V-Create the Deoxys. I was going to say probably was going to have to double V-Create the Deoxys and then outpace the opponent to the V-Create there, but the opponent, by sending in their own Victini, very nicely just allows him to farm all the way down, and now double V-Creates the Deoxys for the win. And that's going to be a GG. And this, by the way, guys, I don't know if you noticed who this last battle is against. We are ending this with a little bit of fun here. As you see, he's playing against me. He sent me a friendly battle, not telling me what team he was using, and I just randomly selected 3 Psychic Mons I had, basically without thinking about the team comp. And what you're going to see is he absolutely just destroys me. So, playing against the man, Nerds Rising, and I'm leading Galarian Slowbro, which is a little bit spicy considering it's a part poison type. And I'm thinking, you know what? Slowbro has a decent amount of bulk. I can probably tank a Wild Charge, but I was expecting the Thunder Punch here. But as you've seen, he just full sends the Wild Charge, nearly one-shotting me. I safe switch into my Gothitelle, and he meets my Gothitelle with the Bronzong. And this is already looking very, very bad for me. I do reach the Rock Slide on CMP, but he knows it's just a Rock Slide. He lets it go. He gets to the Heavy Slam, and I recognize I can't shield this, so I'm just going to let this go. And it doesn't KO, which is actually even worse. He gets a little bit of farm, and I have no basically win con at this point. I already know, because I have a Victini in the back, and I'm already so low that I basically just have like shreds of my Slowbro, and he has 3 Mons still. So this is going to be very, very difficult. I know this is probably going to be a bait, but I kind of have to shield it. And I'm thinking my only win con at that point was to farm down. I try to make the snipe, but again, he knows everything here is double resisted, calls the Sludge Bomb, and I'm going to try to farm him down with Quick Attack here. But as you're going to see, he does get to the payback, and now I'm going to be forced to shield. And I don't know this yet, but he has a Victini of his own in the back, and he still has a shield, and brings in the Raichu. Very nicely done there. Forces me to expend energy. And what you're going to see here is I just send the Hail Mary Overheat, and he's going to easily shield up my Overheat and farm me down for the win. Probably actually will just throw the move to be safe, and that is going to be all she wrote. Farms me down, I lose the game, and Spencer completes the clean 10-0. So very nicely played, some very, very fast battles. But what you guys have seen is if you just send the nuke over and over again, eventually, guys, people are just going to start calling baits, and you're just going to one-shot stuff left and right. Because a lot of times, opponents are going to be unwilling to shield, especially if they're already down a shield. They're going to be very unlikely to commit their second shield. So I absolutely love that play of just sending the Hail Mary every time. So thank you so much to Spencer, aka Some Kind of Rookie, for sending in these battles. Very, very fun in pretty much a very, very stale RPS Niantic meta once again. So thanks again to him, and thank you for everyone that's watching, and thank you to everyone who has subscribed to me in the last month. I have gone up like 150 subscribers in 1 month's time, so it's been very, very cool to see all the support I've been getting, and thanks again to everyone. And remember, if you have not subscribed yet, consider doing so, because the more subscribers we can get, the more Pokemon my wife will let me play.